That's nice.
How much can I?
Gucci?
Oh, you live? Oh. Close the app.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
We back in the studio, back live, folks.
Get these topics in here. While it tells everybody into our YouTube family that's already on it. Good morning to y'all as well too. Birdman, what's good? Mark, how you doing, brother? Stacy, what's up? Let me put these topics in. Remarkable. Adria, what's up? Okay. Doesn't want me, so I'll do it on my other phone. Good morning, everybody. Top of the morning, Monday. V, what's up, my brother? Hope everybody had an amazing weekend. We're back in the stew. Let me just get these topics in here on my other account real good. Everyone do me a favor, though. You can see the arrow button right at the corner. Send this out to the first 5 people you see on that list. And let's get this going. Also, we're live on YouTube Live. So if you're in the comfort at home working right now, do yourself a favor. Get that smart TV remote or however you watch it on your second phone or on your laptop. Jebby, what's good, my brother? Hi, Solange. So everyone do me a favor. Send this out to everybody as we get this started. You guys are going to like today's topic. So let me put that right here and we'll get right to it. Okie dokie. Doesn't want to copy and paste for me again. Let me do that one more time. Shout out to all our newcomers too. This is your first time. Welcome to Motivation Mondays. Just gonna put our topic in here, then we'll start a discussion. How you doing, though, brother? Welcome back.
Yes, sir. We back in the city, back in the cold. That was gonna be good for the holidays. I hope everybody else enjoyed their holidays.
Do you wanna see? Can you copy and paste and put it in there if you can?
Let me see what's going on.
Star TV, how you doing? Got your email as well too. So. Black History Month is coming up as well too, so look forward to that as we'll have special guests each and every week coming through to talk about our story and talk more about Canadian history. So shout out to everybody who is about collaborations and doing great things in the community. Were you back to enjoy Sunday football yesterday?
That was probably the greatest weekend of football I've witnessed in a while. So those people are into football. I'm sure we can all agree about that.
And it's crazy because it looks like we may have come to an end of an era with Brady. We never. It got a little tricky at the end though. It seemed like, oh my goodness, the GOAT comes back, but
they always say that about Brady each year, but then he comes back and prove it all wrong. Don't hang it up, right? Let them take you out.
The GOAT. So you don't think he's retiring?
No, I don't think he's retiring. He's still in him. It's competitive drive. It's part of being a winner.
I seen a stat that he was older than a lot of even defensive and offensive coaches. Like a lot of them are like 33, 35.
Yes.
And he's still doing what he does as if he's a young beast. But it's great to see when you get to see a GOAT at his status still being able to do things like that and wow everybody.
While you're young, moments like this, you want to live through it, enjoy the moment. So much of us always talk about a debate with Jordan and LeBron, but most of us didn't actually witness Jordan play, so we can't speak on it. So just enjoy the moments like this, be part of history, be part of it, share the moment, talk about it with the kids and your future kids and grandkids when the debate goes on about witnessing such historical moments like this. But yes, we back, Motivation Monday.
So this is episode 16, week 92. I'm going to get into our topics. The topics for this week are so week 92 topic, 6 things mentally strong people do. Also, when you let others define you versus when you let yourself define you. And then 7 signs you are doing better than you think you are. And I think as the first month is wrapping up to go to an end, I don't know, this month is clearly like steady. I feel like we've had some other months that have gone by so quick, but this one so far, the year has been moving just at a right pace. So I think this conversation is great to discuss and then we could take it from there. So we'll get the 6 things mentally strong people do and then discuss why it's important. And why do you think it's actually, let's start with this. Why do you think it's important for us to have us why do you think it's important for us to have a strong mind when it comes to our
mental toughness? I always talk about the slogan, everything starts within. I think just being mentally tough is part of overcoming all the obstacles that we're going to face in life. You know, I'll say it's the anchor to us achieving anything. Because at some point in life, things are going to get much tougher than us physically. So if you don't have the mental toughness to overcome these things, you have no chance, right? That's why we always talk about you versus you.
I just got a text message right now that Mayweather's about to fight again too. That's pretty. That's crazy.
Is that breaking news? Is that exclusive?
Yeah, breaking news. It's gonna come out to the world right now.
There you have Motivation Monday breaking news. You know
that's crazy. It's actually blessed for us because we have some videos that we need to shoot, and we were saying we hope that he's able to fight again. So that's good news. Sorry to throw that out. I've had to be mentally strong to pray to hope that he will be able to fight again for us to do what we got to do. But it's official right now, so. That means we'll be on the move. Motivation Monday is going somewhere. You might have to come with me. We might have to get you in there, figure out some way. But
being around the greats, right? Enjoy the moment.
But let's get Chris. What are you doing, my brother? Let's get right into it. So 6 things mentally strong people do. The first one is they move on. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. I feel like at times right now there's so many situations that can happen to individuals. We never know what anyone's going through, but it can make you or break you. Sometimes we hold on to it, and the conversation, what if this didn't happen? But once you're able to move on of a situation, it's not easy. So let's talk about that. They move on. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves.
Well, that's the thing. Like I just said, life is hard already as is. Like, to have to deal with these other pressures, especially, I think, self-deflating thoughts that we talked about. It's what you think about yourself that mostly affect your day, right? So moving on, understanding that there are things that needs to get you moving, right? There are things that needs to get you moving. And at some point, you got to have a why that's much bigger than you, right? You don't feel sorry for yourself. You understand these are the circumstances. It can always be different. What if this happened? What if that happened, right? It's endless. It's an endless conversation that you can talk yourself into doing what it is that you need to do.
Dope. And also to our people that are joining us on the YouTube live, as soon as you come in, please click the like button. If you're new, you can click the subscribe button. And to our people on Instagram too, we're live on YouTube. We keep the IG live just to inform everybody, but we would appreciate if everyone could move to the YouTube live. So if you're in a space or environment that you can do so, please do us that favor. The second thing that mentally strong people do is they embrace change. They welcome challenges. I think change is, it's always change is always good.
Change is inevitable. You cannot. Well, there's this thing where they say genetically, like humans is like every 7 years we're a whole new person. Our genetics, everything changed. But change is one thing that we all fear the most, but we all want. You know what I mean? As times will change, right? You get older. People around you will change, right? People experiencing things. So it's kind of like an unsaid thing, whether you like it or not. You got to be willing to accept change, but so much has changed. It's not you becoming a whole new person, but becoming a better person. Adapt to the situation, adapt to your new finding, your new gifts, and your new challenges that will come along the way.
Wow, and a big birthday shout out to Mia's World Cup. I seen you had a fantastic weekend, but once again, I see new people join us as well. Like I said, we're live on YouTube right now. We're talking about 6 things mentally strong people do. So the first one was they move on. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. The second was they embrace change. They welcome challenges. And the third one, though, is they stay happy. They don't waste energy on things they can't control. And I think you always speak about these things, like stop letting things you can't control get the best of you. So I know you can speak highly on that one.
Yeah, well, you cannot waste time on things you cannot change, right? It would be like literally kicking a dead horse, as they say. But eventually we got to start realizing that happiness is not a destination, right? It's not when you get to a place you find happiness. Happiness is within yourself, with what you have now and everything else that's going around with you, that you're actually grateful and you show gratitude for the things that you do have, but you're optimistic and more hopeful for what's yet to come, right? So it's always having that mind frame that I'm thankful, I'm grateful for what I have, but knowing that I'll do everything else I need to do to get what it is that I want for myself.
Whew. And there you have it there. This is why like it's so awesome to have these conversations and be able to chop it up and break down, because there's even Shy who just tuned in. I seen them on the weekend and they're just like, yo, there's those videos you guys be posting, like it's great to rewatch. And I think you touched on that, where it's like, when you can't control certain things, once you understand and you can beat that part of life where you understand that things are going to happen and you just have to move accordingly when they do happen, then you'll be able to stay on course for this game that we call life. Now the fourth one is they are kind, fair, and unafraid to speak up. And I think that this takes time for somebody to build that, to be kind, to be fair, and unafraid to speak up. Because sometimes people hold stuff in, and it's not like, not everybody's the same. We have introverts, we have extroverts, like everybody's different in how they discuss and handle things. So how can we understand that, life is not fair, but like whatever is happening to you could be happening to somebody else in a different type of way. So I won't let that really, get afraid of me to speak on it.
Well, it's about understanding, right? Being compassionate to other people's situation, empathetic, however you look at it, and understanding that everybody has their own obstacles, everybody has their own thing that they go through, right? And kindness is free, right? To be kind to somebody, it doesn't cost you anything, even if you don't receive kindness back, right? It's about a better version of yourself that we always talk about encouraging everybody to do, and being unafraid to speak up. This doesn't mean you have to be negative, but say what you feel and feel what you say. I heard they say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So if you're not making noise, if you're not talking about the things that you need, you will never, quote unquote, get the grease, I should say. But that's really about being kind, being fair to people, and being unafraid to stand your ground, prove your point. Be more assertive.
And I love that we're seeing new followers to the Instagram who are tuning in. So that means, as soon as they tune in, you're getting them right there with the speak. So welcome to the Motivation Mondays family. I love to see that. Small Touch Families live on YouTube. Hello to you guys as well too. We got to make sure we're seeing both angles, and I don't forget about everybody. But welcome to our new family. The next one, number 5, is they are willing to take calculated risks. You're Mr. Calculated Risk himself. So
I love the word calculated, you know what I mean? Because often, people always talk about risk. It's all risky, whether it's not even taking advantage of opportunity, it's all risky. Like, going outside today is risky, but the thing is about taking calculated risk, seeing where you are and where it is that you need to be and what it is that you can afford to lose, right? It's about growth. It's about where it is that you need to be, right? And where it is that you are and what it is that you can afford to lose, and who is potentially also in the line of fire. So when we talk about calculated risk, it's about balance. It's about balance.
We have a question on the YouTube. So the question is, what if you're complaining during the process of change without knowing?
Well,
great question.
Great question. I like the word without knowing, but awareness is always key, right? You got to embrace change, right? You got to embrace change, and complain about without not knowing that's why you got to welcome our obstacles. Often when we figure something out, it's because something that we knew didn't work out, right? So if it's through the process of failure, if it's through of learning a new experience and we don't like why this is happening, understand that this is a new experience. This is a new teaching method, something different for us to learn from, for us to deal with tomorrow's problems. I just ask you to look at it this way. If you only knew as much as you knew when you were in your teenagers, are you able to deal with some of the issues and trials that you're dealing with right now, right? So as far as complaining and as part of change as being the process, we got to start understanding that it's equipping us, it's giving us new tools for us to deal with what it is that we might face in the near future.
And you know what? I seen a post that a red pill and a blue pill. So the red pill is basically $10 million right now, and the blue pill is you can go back in time to your younger days with everything you've learned right now. Which one would you choose? And a lot of people were taking the 10 million, and the person was basically like, wow, think about it. If you could go back with all the knowledge that you learn right now with real estate, with how the world is turning digital, you could probably make more than $10 million. And he made that he made that comparison just to say, like, it's crazy what we can do with the unknown. Like, what we don't know is what we don't know. But when you do know, it's what are you doing with that information? And, time, we always talk about time doesn't wait for nobody, right? So we all have the same 24 hours, which is the good thing about life. But what you do with that 24 hours or how you apply that knowledge is what's going to determine, the goals that you set yourself, whether you accomplish it or not. I think we've seen... Let's
just get to A Lovely on YouTube. Just want to make sure that we got the question answered, if you need a more explanation like we do with our Instagram family, feel free to ask any questions specifically in regards to what it is that you're dealing with or about the topic. And we just need like the thumbs up to know that we got things clarified.
Dope. And I see a lot of new people coming us on the IG Live. Once again, to our people on YouTube Live, welcome. Click the like button and make sure you do subscribe right now. We're back in the studio live and direct. It's been a hot minute, but we're back live and direct. So
and for the good measures and the good faith, whatever questions that we had throughout the holidays from other episodes, we're gladly welcome it.
100%. Actually, I'm gonna do a poll out there and leave the question box for people to chime in. So, hey, lovely, if you're still on YouTube Live, let us know with a thumbs up if we answered your question correctly. And once again, that was a great question. In the meantime, as we wait for her to respond to that, the last one, that 6 things mentally strong people do, are they celebrate other people's success. They don't resent that success.
I had to marinate on that for a second because celebrating other people's success it's about joy. When you start showing when you start being around other people's flowers and see them flourishing, right, and their sun, right, the sun will also help your flowers grow. So about celebrating other people's success, don't be resentful. Again, we got a check mark. Shout out to A Lovely. Don't be resentful towards other people, because then you start to create that darkness in your life, right? When you think negative, everything else becomes negative around you. But let's just jump into
our affirmation.
And I think we had a question.
Yeah, we'll get to the affirmation right now. 11:11. We don't make a wish, we say our affirmation. So our affirmation for this week is: I have everything I need to make today a great day. I wake up happy and excited every single day. I'm glad it's Monday again, so I can have a fresh start. So I'll repeat our affirmation again. I have everything I need to make today a great day. I wake up happy and excited every single day. I'm glad it's Monday again, so I can have a fresh start. Let's break that down for our people.
I like that, being optimistic. The only thing that slightly changes, we don't need the Mondays. We don't need the Mondays to have a fresh start, right? A fresh start is within the hour. What it is that you do after the live, what it is that you do tomorrow, right? So we just don't want to, we don't want to have that dreadful, oh man, here comes Monday, and then screaming TGIF on weekends. But you know what I mean? The fresh start is all about mindset, right? So that's the only thing I'll take away from that. But besides that, you wake up happy, you wake up excited, right? All the challenge that comes your way, welcome it. Welcome all experiences, right? You never know which one will turn you around, right? Today, whatever difficulty that you're facing this morning could be the breakthrough for you to maybe start your business, the wake-up call, right? So welcome all of your experiences. Don't make it break you, make it make you.
And I see some comments in there. Thank you guys for what you do. Now, thank you guys for, being a part of this too. We're one family, and every time you guys share what we're doing and comment, like, and just tell a friend, it helps us grow this family, which we've been doing almost for the past 2 years in April. So we're gonna get into our guy JR's question right now. How do I become a 6-figure guy?
Humility, you know what I mean? I'm talking about investments. We could talk about it all the time. In times like this, is about putting your nose to the ground, right? Straight up. People often talk about, where do I start? Where do I go? You know what I mean? The easiest way for us to gain some type of foundation, any type of capital, right? Towards question was like, how do I become a 6-figure person? Right, the little that you do have, find opportunity, create opportunities for yourself. Network, right? Network and save and get ready to go on the offense, right? So far, it seems like things are probably in a downturn. We're seeing stocks crash, crypto's going a little bit, a little dip, I should say. But these are opportunities, right? And don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to take risks. That's all I gotta say about that. But I'm a thumbs up guy for real estate, right? I'm a thumbs up guy for real estate. It's how bad you want it, right? Get your education. Watch the other episodes when we talk about investments. Listen to other people's podcasts speaking about real estate, speaking about crypto. Find out what works best for you. No one person has the answers, right? I cannot sit here and say, go do this or work out for you. Like, most people know I'm into real estate. I just believe in that. Like, I'll die on the top of the hill of real estate, Some people may preach different. Right, but that's why I tell everybody, don't be a follower, be a student. Make sure what you do is a product of your own conclusion.
And I see in the comments, people are saying make a plan, network is key. I would add to that, your what your priorities are. You got to define what your priorities are, and discipline. because even me, like this year, I'm making it one of my goals to learn a new trade. Like I want to learn about tiles and just flooring, just things that I know when I want to get into real estate. How can I cut costs in something if I learned a new skill? So those are certain ideas. Okay, so be humble and invest. Thanks, fellas.
That's
Yes,
all I gotta
my brother.
say. Yeah.
And we all can do it, man. What I love is I see my brothers being able to do it, so I know we're not too far. And I'm just, asking questions. If you ask questions, you'll get the answers that you're looking for. So don't be afraid to ask questions as well.
And be patient. One thing, delayed gratification. If you want to get where most people are not willing to be, you gotta understand it takes sacrifice, and be patient. And be patient with that sacrifice, right? Nothing great was ever achieved overnight.
Now, our next topic is when you let others define you versus when you let yourself define you. Sometimes in life, what words can affect us. Like people that hold value to us or people we care about are able to say certain things that could get the best of us. Like, and we don't really encourage that. Like I always talk about, like, if you were to have about let's say 100,000 in your bank account and $10 left your bank account, are you gonna let that $10 affect what the total is, right? So it's like even the time in the day that we have, how many minutes there is, not letting people's words or what they say about us affect us. But it may take some time for people to get over that because of relationships and what those people have been able to build. So I'll bring an example of another situation, and then people will understand. So it's like a situation where you let others define you. Someone could say you're worthless, or you listen to me, or do as I say, or I'll break up with you, losers, certain things like that. There's a picture that actually shows when you have a headphone over your ears and people are saying this, and when you block out the noise. But it may take some time to block out that noise. So why is it important to let ourselves define you and not let others define us?
Well, it's not what people say about you that matters. Rather, what we say about yourself, what we think about ourselves is what holds dear. But we're not going to we're not going to take away from the fact that as humans, as creatures, we need each other. All of us need all of us need each of us, and each of us need all of us. And yes, some people's words hold weight, and sometimes we feel like the people we care about have a strong hold on us, or a meaningful thing to say. We take that to heart. And like I said earlier, it's not what people say about you, but rather what you say about yourself. Right? So we got to learn to block out people, because people only speak from their perspective, what it is that they know, and their perspective is based on experience, and the experience could be flawed. Like, what I mean? Me and you, brother, are both sitting here, and we leave here and talk about Motivation Monday. You speak it from a different point of view. You might say the room was cold. It might not be cold for me. So with that, you got to understand that when people speak on you, or people say something about you, they do not know you. They have not seen the movie of your life from birth on from all angles. They're just really, they're just really just judging. And, and they say people who think are the one that tends to judge. So I think that should always be a key for us to rely back on, and understand that the people that are speaking on us don't truly know us, right? They know some part of us. They have an idea of what they think they are. But like I just said, it's just a perspective that other people may have that we may not all agree.
Is there like a certain kind of attitude if somebody literally tells you something you don't want to hear, where it's able for you to, like, let's say respectfully, like you heard somebody talking about you or about a situation that you didn't like, but because I think sometimes the response is what can, like, because if you respond out of anger, then things usually will get too tense or get a little toxic. Like, but if you're able to maybe analyze and not even agree, because you can agree to not agree with somebody.
Well, you gotta understand, no matter what anybody says to you, matter of fact, you can look at it as an opinion, right? Don't let nothing overly bug you. Whatever people say to you is not a fact. It doesn't define who you are. You define who you are. So regardless what anybody else say to you, you can just take it as an opinion. You appreciate the opinion, but this does not mean it's an accurate fact.
Okay, well said on that part. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Vanguard, and to my guy, DJ Sydney. My Ghana people are tuning in. I like to see that's probably afternoon for you, but it's glad to have you guys right now. And to our people on YouTube, appreciate you guys interacting in the live chat as well too. If you just joined us, please click the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Right now we are talking about the first topic we talked about was 6 things mentally strong people do. The one that we just discussed is when you let others define you versus when you let yourself define you. And then the next one is 7 signs that you are doing better than you thought you were. And I love this one a lot because we need this reminder sometimes. Sometimes you think life is going a certain way, and when you're able to hear certain things, then you'll be able to know, like, oh, my life is, going exactly how I want. So I'm gonna pull that
it's
up first
difficult
right
to
now.
see the picture when you're the one in the frame. Sometimes, we just need that gentle reminder of where we are and where it is that we want to be.
And I mean, in this beautiful thing that we call life, we talked about change and we talk about growth. It can happen. Like, don't ever feel like you're too stuck in a situation and you can't do better. It's all about having that positive mindset. So the first thing that are signs that you are doing better than you think you are was you changed a lot from a year ago. Why is it so important to even analyze, like, to be able for us to be like, okay, if last year January this year January, if I'm in a better place than last year, why is that important for us to remind ourselves about what we went through, what we've overcome, or even to make those points?
Self-deflating thoughts, where we feel like we're not doing much, where we feel like this is not good enough. Always chasing the pursuit of happiness, right? It's always the pursuit of happiness, always changing the goalposts. But sometimes you just got to look back. It's difficult to see where we are if we keep looking forward and seeing where it is that we need to be. But you could just look back and be grateful from the fact that you used to be here and you're no longer there, and now you're here. Things are working out. You're starting to see a few things panning out for you. So, of course, looking back helps, and seeing that there's been a drastic change from where it is that you used to be.
Great. And it says that, let me bring this up. It says that change is a sign of growth. Don't fear change. Fear that you stay the same. And I think that I remember there was some points that come about. One of the worst things is being in the same position
that
as you were last year.
Yeah. Each year you got to get better. Even if things are going well for you right now and you have everything that it is that you want, there's more for you, right? I never tell people they're good the way that they are. I never tell people things could get worse, which they can. But I understand things will also get drastically better, right? You never take your foot off the pedal, right? This doesn't mean not being grateful, but it's just mean as over time you're becoming a better person that you were yesterday. The tool sets, the skill sets that you have to go through 2020, 2019, 2021 may not be enough for 2022, right? So you got to understand that you're grateful for what you do have, and you have your arms open for more. We have a question from our YouTube.
Yes.
I think that was a previous topic. The question says, people say network. What if you don't know how to? What if you feel like you haven't accomplished anything? All right, self-deflating thoughts, the last one I'd like to address. So the thing about network is so easy by the community, right? By community, it doesn't have to be. We live in a day where everything is out online, right? I tell people if they don't know where to go, you create that space. If you're looking for a space that you cannot find, go on Facebook, make a group, go on Instagram, start a page, right? Connect with people. Like, we talk about it all the time. We want people to share. Information. When we give people the opportunity to network with people in our comments, right? Like-minded people, right? See people that have businesses. And if you can't find that, create that for yourself, right? And self-deflating thoughts, the thing about feeling accomplished is that often what we tend to do as humans, we either compare up or we compare down. And in most cases, when you feel like you haven't accomplished anything, you're looking at your peers and other people, right? It starts with the small things, right? When people can't get things done, you see that their goal is not properly planned, or they're not focused, right? So the key word that I like here is, what if you feel? Right? Sometimes your feelings may not be accurate, right? We could analyze your life, and there's a lot that you have accomplished, right? If you're not grateful for anything, if you think nothing else is going wrong, as you woke up this morning, check your pulse. As long as you're breathing, everything else is going fine. But yes, I think it's about making a plan, starting off with small goals and crossing those off to eventually get the bigger goals.
And I know she said at the bottom, low-key people network just to say what they have accomplished. I do this, I do that. And you're just looking at them like you don't know what you can offer.
Hold on, I do this, I do that. You don't know.
Like, whenever you meet somebody, the first thing they're going to tell you is, I do this, I do that.
Yes, I mean, that's why I said create that space, like-minded people, right? If you find people boasting about their few things, maybe those are not the kind of people that you want to be around. But LinkedIn, like, I encourage LinkedIn. I always talk about it. LinkedIn, LinkedIn, it's not even so much. I find it's like people always talk about sliding the DM to potential relationship, right? To start up you could also slide in DMs to potentially business startup, like literally, right?
100%.
Start using these social media as networking service. That's what they're originally intended made for, but it has become a picture album and a status relationship or whatever it is, relationship meeting places. It's just a whole bunch of stuff, you know. For now, you have access to anywhere around the world, and I think we should use it for a better cause.
100%. Shout out to our newcomers as well too. Swagloso, NMG Scythe, Amir Off-White. We're live right now. We're just talking about 7 signs that you are doing better than you think you are. So the first one we just discussed was you changed a lot from a year ago. And, you know, shout out to everybody who's in a better position than they were last year. You know, it's all about growth. So we encourage that. The second one is you went through hard times. It says going through hardships is good. It means you are growing stronger even if it's tough. So, you know, you always talk about tough times don't last.
Only tough people do it, and it makes the most of it. And if you're here, you made it through it, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is. And in the moment, you probably thought it was the end of the world. Amir, you didn't die. You're still here. Like, you know what I mean? And truth be told, that may not be your last problem, right? There we go. Max is being negative on the platform again. But, you know, I just want people to understand.
Talking the truth.
You know, I just want people to understand, like, you know, that life comes and goes. You know, it's all about what you do in the moment. So even if you went through a hard time, you understand that you're still here. You made it through, right? And you learned something from that hard time, right? If it comes through again, probably it wouldn't be as hard, right?
And once again, hey, lovely, let us know in the live chat right now if we answered your question about networking correctly. And I encourage everybody also on the IG live. We have a question box. If you feel like you have a question, we'd love to hear all questions or even some feedback. Feel free to use the question box so that we can read out the question to everybody. And, you know, I'm even going to give a shout out to our people who are going to tune in later on, whether on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or watching the YouTube live, because we know, you know, some people at work, they don't have the time to do that, but they do make the time later on throughout the day. So this is just a shout out to you guys for always making sure, no matter what, even if you miss it at 10:30 and you're not here, you're able to catch the episode. The third one is you are serious about your goals. You know, in life, most people don't even know their goals, or they just follow the masses. Having goals and being serious about them means you are doing way better than you think. So that's one of the signs as well too. And, you know, we've had episodes where we talked about why goal setting and setting these goals are very, very important. But there's a difference between setting goals and actually being serious about your goals.
You cannot hit a target that you do not have. That's why I look at it as goals, right? You just walk around aimlessly through life trying to figure things out. So you gotta have a target. That's what I call goals. And you gotta get serious, right? Life is serious, so get serious, right? If you just walk around aimless, right? Like you heard this before. If you walk around life casual, you end up a casualty. Right? I'm gonna say it again. If you walk around life casual, you end up a casualty. So take life serious. Understand that you gotta have a deliberate plan. You cannot wait for the government to save you. You cannot wait for your partner to save you, your parents, your siblings to save you. But you gotta save yourself. You have a target, right? Although people may influence it, you gotta set that target for yourself and achieve those goals that'll put you where it is that you need to be. And having something meaningful, having a target, something to walk towards to, gives you a sense of meaning. So often when people talked about feeling down about themselves, not knowing what to do, you know, we talk about mental health or even feeling depressed, right? Often when I sit down, I break things to them, and it's either they don't have nothing to look forward to and their mind will take them into places they do not want to be, right? So have goals, something to look forward to do. Wake up with a routine, wake up with a plan that you feel like you're achieving something. Because often when we have these negative thoughts, it's usually during our free time. When we're there laying in the bed, all the wrong things happen. And then depression kicks in where we feel like we can't get things done and nothing is going our way. So it's so important to have goals. It's like it's everything, and right, and work towards those goals, right? No matter even on your worst day, right? Even if just some days you may feel like shit, may feel like not getting out of bed. Excuse me for my language, but just even waking up and even just doing your bed, knowing that at my very worst today, when I feel like not getting out of bed, at least I got out of bed and I made the bed. Yeah, you went back in it, but that's still a sense of accomplishment, right? So no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad it gets, do something. Give yourself a thumbs up. Get that sticker for the day so that you could know that tomorrow you have a better day.
And, you know, shout out to everybody that's tuning right now, whether you're on the IG live or on our YouTube live right now. We have a great group of numbers watching us on YouTube, and I encourage everybody to click the like button as well too. If you're just joining us, just click that like button as soon as you get in there. And if you're on our IG live as well too, we're live on YouTube. So like I said, always we encourage everybody to get on the YouTube live, because soon we'll just be using this to share our highlights from other episodes, but we'll be strictly on YouTube live. So if you have the chance or you haven't subscribed yet, do so. Join us on the YouTube live. We have a live chat where we love to have conversations. We have a question actually from YouTube live right now. Stacy, do you guys have any suggestions and tips on how to really network? Places, times, different types of people different types of people also respond differently. So I'd love to be in a room of different people. So the great question here is, do you guys have any suggestions and tips on how to really network?
There's multiple steps. Like, you know what I mean? The most important thing is about communication. I think we should all have a formal kind of like a communication formally, as far as like maybe if you're sending somebody a message, right? You know what I mean? Not so much a spelling, but rather how you come across, and have a 1-minute pitch. I learned this when I went to a real estate seminar a couple of years back. Like, because, you know, people are on the move, people want to give and goes, like kind of like your resume. Can you tell me what it is, who you are, what it is that you have to offer within minutes? And like I just said, go to the places where you want to be. Even if you're not fit to be in that room, go there. Right? If you're in hopes to get into the real estate market and you're in negatives, like bad credit, you don't even have $5 saved, right? It's still free to go to some of these seminars and just talk to people, see how they act, see how they talk, and just talk to them. You never know what kind of opportunity may land on your lap, right? Like we just said, find places where like-minded people are. Our platform here. So right here, Lovely, I'm not sure who you are, and Stacey, we're talking about network. There it is. So you guys are both have something in common, which is in searching for a better cause, but you may not know the opportunity one holds for each other. Right? So that's part of networking. Even if you guys are both looking, that is still a sense of networking, because one person might have something that wasn't value of them, but maybe value to you. So like I said, share space, common interest, and that's what we have here on Motivation Monday. I know if you guys are watching this, there's a sense of wanting a sense of growth, wanting to be a better version of yourself, because there's so many things that you could do right now, but you choose to come here and listen to a positive message. So that just tells me that you want more out of life. Right. So now it's all about connecting with the people here. Like I said, and if you're looking for specific group of people and you cannot find them online, create that space, because I guarantee you, in this world of 7.5 billion people, you're not the only one searching for that specific answer.
And as things, I know they said January 31st we'll be able to have in-person things. We're working actually on a Motivation Monday event, our first event, live event with everybody. So stay tuned for that. I know you guys will love that. And like Max is saying, as you guys are in the YouTube live or even the IG live, you guys can network right away. Right there, like you said, you two have something in common. So, you know, network right away through the channel, or whether it's
I'm going to throw this out there. Also the gym, right? Find people that work on the middle of the day coming from work. I'm telling you, on higher different frequency. The kind of people that leave their job in the middle of the day or right after work to go work out, they're on a higher frequency and understanding they want more out of life than just to go to work and go home and repeat it each and every day. And I encourage everybody to go to the gym, not so much as to just achieve some type of physical beauty or anything like that, but just to feel good about yourself. Take care of yourself. It's the only place that you have to live.
And what would you say for somebody who, you know, they're not really on goal setting, they've just been, you know, like maybe just be, you know, going gradually, going to work and just picking things up. What advice would we give them to like get out of that slump or out of that wave that they're in, to get to figuring out what they want from life and find out what their goals are?
We used the GPS analogy before, right? If you're trying to go to a place you've never been before, you need a sense of direction, or else you're going to find yourself driving around for hours, for days, and never getting there, right? So you got to understand why it's so important, right? There's things that we care about. We all have made plans for something that's probably not valuable of us, you know what I mean? Like most of us could relate about first day of school, about getting our clothes ready the night before, or even there's a potential dinner or birthdays, you know, just planning. Those are all part of goals. Those are all something that we laid out plans. So I think we should do that for the things that we care about most, and understand they're not just going to come fall in our lap, right? You just don't one day come across an opportunity. I mean, that can happen, right? But chances are, if you're just walking around waiting for that, you're not prepared, right? I think Will Smith said this: it's better to be prepared for opportunity than to have opportunity and not be prepared for it, right? So understand it's so important. It's very important to have goals. Write it down, no matter how big. And one thing about a goal is not it's not permanent. It's not. You're not locked in for life. Understand that you could adjust your goal as times change, as you change, as you learn new things. Right. You could add on to your goal. You could take away from your goal. Right. But like I said, also your overall achieving goals. If your goal is easy to achieve, it's not big enough. If your goal is easy to achieve, it's not big enough. Your goal has to make something of you. Your goal has to require for you to become much more than what it is that you think you are. Like I just said, what you think you are, not even what you are. Because as far as humans, there's an endless growth, right? There's endless growth. You could be much better than who you are right now. Nobody's at their very best, and I don't think we'll ever reach there.
And I'd like to take this time, shout out to my brother Randy, who's here. He's doing a great event coming up in February. With it's for athletes that are women. It's called Athlete Women Empowered. So if you're an athlete women or you've played sports back in high school, college, doesn't matter. This is a great networking opportunity. It's going to be, you get to learn from over 30 plus BIPOC women in the industry. 6 self-paced skill building modules. So check out Athlete Tech Group. This is happening in February. The promotion's been going great. You can sign up and learn and network. So this is a event that I'm talking about. So people are asking about places. You can either follow Randy Rose or check out Athlete Tech Group on Instagram, and all the information is right there. So those are events, and as things are picking up, as they've set that January 31st date, more events will be coming. I know a couple of my guys who are doing real estate master classes and all these things. So you can sign up, get on the email listing, get the information. And it's great information to have in your inbox. So anytime you feel like, I know when I go to my email, I can just pick up and type in real estate, and I have a bunch of emails that are coming up that I can just dibble dabble and see where I want to get my mind across. So the next thing that we're going to talk about that are signs that you are doing better than you are you have 1 to 2 close friends. And this one is funny because it says having friendship to count on is a sign that you are blessed, even if it's just one person.
Well, yeah, I would agree with that statement. Like, you have a support system, a solid rock support system. You got to find out who are your friends. You tell them something, they don't minimize it. They support you. If something goes wrong, they don't tell you how they have other issues. These are signs to know that somebody's actually your friend, but you could share with, right? You can openly share. They're not quick to critique, and when they do critique, they're helping you find out a solution. I tell people all the time, when people say something negative or they say why your plan wouldn't work and it doesn't follow up with what they think you should do or how that they could possibly there's a possible alternative route of doing what it is that you wanted to do. Those people are not in for your best interest. So before you critique, before you tell somebody something doesn't work, please have a solution to help them with. If not, you can't say no to somebody if you don't have the answers to it. But yes, having that one, two close friends as a support system, knowing that you're working towards something and you have people to rely on.
I encourage everyone to find their own definition of what friendship means to them and what they'll want out of friendship. Like, I seen a post the other day where it's like, it was talking about how some people don't even realize that people are going through real life situations. That's why they can't check up on them as much as they would expect. But like, have that understanding that people are going through real life stuff right now. Things are getting serious. People are more serious about their goals. People are starting families. People want more out of life right now. So everyone's not gonna have the time that you're maybe used to or that they used to offer. We're all growing, right? So those are things to look into. The next one is you seek peace over pleasure. Most people just look for the next dopamine hit. If you are seeking peace instead, it means you are far ahead.
And people might think that may be in contrast as far as like, well, seeking peace is pleasure, which is true if you go on the peace side. But I think what it's talking about is when we often talk about delayed gratification, right? The dopamine, the things that that you need to do, you don't do, but you're waiting for the next hit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you need to stay away from people and work on your goals, but rather you want to party for that dopamine hit, the pleasure, right? The immediate gratification, just to feel good about yourself. But if you keep running away from the things that you know you need to face, life becomes harder. Right? Your problems become bigger. Why? Because you become weaker. If you don't face your obstacle, if you don't face your demon, if you don't face that dragon it is that you're running from, you get weaker and it gets stronger, right? And by default, you lose. By default, you lose because you may never want to face some of these challenges, and it makes you less of a person, I should say, right? So you gotta step up. You gotta not worry about things You gotta not just worry about chasing the pleasure, chasing the temporary hit, but rather peace of mind, right? Things that means more to you. Have a meaningful life. Have a load to carry.
That's why it's so important for you to really ask yourself, what do I want out of this life? Like, what do I want out of this life? What am I gonna do to get what I want out of this life? And have that. I forgot what episode it was, but where you get to, feed your ego. Like, you get to figure out who you are and have that conversation with yourself to understand who you really are. And we'll get into the next one. You learn from your mistakes. I feel like learning from our mistakes are, if you can learn from your mistakes, I love to talk about L's where it's like, a L is never a loss. It's a situation to learn from. So, most people run away from their problems or blame others, but you own your mistakes and learn from them. Why is that super important into growth and elevating?
I think we talked about it earlier, and it was my quote yesterday when I mentioned that I'm just having I do not remember it. But yes, learning from your mistake, that it doesn't define you. That's one thing that I'll say, is that often when things don't work out, it's because what we know didn't work. So it's time for us to adjust and learn from it. So yes, we do learn from our mistakes, right? And we don't blame others. We take accountability and we take full responsibility for everything and everything that happens to us, and that we know that it's up to us to change that. So we learn from it. Those are a new set of skills that we use to deal with tomorrow's battles or next week's battles, right? We don't say it's this fault, it's that person's fault, because once again, that makes us less of a person. That makes us weak, right? If we have an excuse, right? We always have an excuse. Listen, one thing I'm going to tell people, you always have a good enough reason to you why you don't do what it is that you need to do, right? You don't got to explain that to nobody, right? It could be as simple as, I didn't feel like going to the gym today because it was cold out. Fine. Reasonable for you, right? You always have that reason if it is that you're looking for, right? I don't want to go back to school because it's online. Some people online, that's fine. Whenever it is, if you're looking for an excuse, if you're looking for a reason, you will always find one, right? But like I said, most people don't care. So take accountability, right? Take accountability for everything that happens to you. Learn from your mistakes, right? To become a better person, right? If it's happening over and over, it's not a mistake, it's a habitual act, then we must say that ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is dangerous. You must know where there's danger is and not repeat what it is that you repeated yesterday. Insanity is waking up doing the exact same thing over and over, expecting different results. Quote from, is it Albert Einstein or Winston Churchill? Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Double check and quote that. And they always talk about when you're putting blames on others, when you point the finger, there's other fingers pointing, 3 fingers pointing right back at you. So, those are one of those things. Yeah, you're correct, Albert Einstein. And the last one is you trust that everything will be all right. You trust that the universe has great things in store for you, and you take action to bring them into reality.
Be optimistic about life, have that trust process, believe your belief, doubt your doubts, right? You trust the process. You understand even when things go wrong is an opportunity making your way towards you, right? So believe your beliefs and doubt your doubts, right? You trust the process. You understand that greater things are on the other side, no matter what it is that you're going through, right? This is just a temporary inconvenience. No matter how hard life is, if you're watching this around the world, listening anywhere, no matter how hard life is right now, I may not know your circumstance, and I'm not minimizing it or any kind of way, right? But there's great things on your way. It's a temporary inconvenience. This specific moment does not define who you are. You're bigger than the situation that you're in right now, right? I'm gonna say that again. No matter where you are, where it is you're going through, where it is that you're listening to, whatever it is that you're going through, it's a temporary inconvenience. It does not define who you are, right? So let's take that home with us today. And yes.
Shout out to our new followers as well too. I see the follow update giving us welcome to Motivation Mondays. Right now we're on episode 16, week 92 of Motivation Mondays. We're streaming live on YouTube. So to our YouTube family, shout out to you guys for coming through, sharing. I've seen a couple new subscribers come up as well too. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click the link in our bio to our IG Live family and click that subscribe button. Once you come in, click the like button. We have a live chat going on where you can ask questions, network, and have great conversations. So we like that we're building and we're growing, and we love the fact that people are coming in and hearing the conversation and doing the due diligence to find out more about the platform. So kudos to you. You are what keeps us going.
We have a few questions on YouTube before we get out of here. Can you give an example of how you create your why? And when creating goals, I think we're going back to your why has to be bigger than you. Something, because if it's just about you, at some point something will become much bigger than you. So your why is something that holds you accountable. If it's your family, if you want to be the answer to your family, often people's why as they get older is usually their children. We talk about in that workspace, people have that picture, right? Or even where you came from, right? Being in a place where you wish you no longer want to be, but it has to be bigger than you. Right? Your why has to pull you out of bed. Right? Your why has to pull you out of bed, a bigger purpose, a mark on this world. And this doesn't mean becoming financially rich or any kind of way, but understand that you're giving back to the world that you took so much from. Right? So your why has to be bigger than you. It has to be able to pull you. Right? And if it's in the past, if it's something that you do not want no more, it has to be able to push you. Right? If it's your circumstances where you grew up, and understand that if you settle, by default, you decline back to where it is that you were. That should be your why. And then many people's why may be different, right? Some people take on the responsibility that they want to be the answer to their family, that their family never has to worry about any kind of problems. They want to be there for them, or have or their why has to be a sense. Andrew Carnegie, this is his why was to gain as much wealth as he can and give it all away before he dies. And I think before he died, he gained about 400 million. And this is way back, so it's probably worth in the billions if we talk about inflation. But that became his why. And before he died, he gave it all away, right? That was his why, right? It has to be bigger than you. Because if it's just about you, like I said, life will knock you in your mouth and life becomes much tougher. And then you give up if it's just about you.
And this is why a lot of people have reminders at workplace or in their phones, their screensavers, just to remind them. Sometimes, I know some people have some tattoos and things like that, but it's certain reminders to always, because so many things can happen in the world. Or when you get into your car, I see some people that put like their kids' pictures and stuff just for a reminder, because you can get caught up in this world. But it's very important to have some of these things remind us the reason why we're pushing and keeping it real with yourself.
Yes, there's a second part to that question. It says, but during the process, sometimes you forget your why or isn't strong enough to push you. Most people don't have accountability partners, so it can be very difficult, right? I like that when he talks about the accountability partners, right? You owe it to yourself. Commitment. This is from Iki Johnson. Commitment is staying true to what you said you're going to do long after the feeling has gone, right? You signed that contract to yourself, right? You don't owe it to nobody else. You owe it to yourself. So commitment is staying true to what you said you're going to do long after the feeling has left, right? So if you just feel good and you set goals for yourself and you're going to do this, right? Understand tomorrow you may not feel as good. Or when you get knocked in your mouth, when life happens, when you're optimistic about starting your business and you make that post and you don't get that like and you don't get that sales and you need a negative revenue. Yeah, you may feel bad, but understand you made that deal before that and you have to see yourself through that, right? Commitment is staying true to what you say you're going to do long after the feeling has left. And I think that covers everything. Appreciate the questions. Shout out, I love you on YouTube. Thank everybody on the Instagram family, Spotify family, Apple, anybody that's listening anywhere around the world. We appreciate the love and support. And yes, we're open for more questions. Our DMs are always open. We may not get back to you maybe as quick as we do on the live, but we will get back to you.
And I see a couple new people coming on the IG Live, so I encourage everybody, if you're just joining us right now, we just wrapped up our episode right now, so we encourage everybody to either rewatch it on YouTube. It's going to be posted there. We're going to be posted, like you said, on Apple Podcasts, all streaming platforms, as in Spotify. But do us a favor, head to the link in our bio. There's a survey. We want to know how you found about Motivation Monday, how you like the episodes, and do us that big favor of clicking that subscribe button, because soon you won't have the common courtesy of us just hopping on IG Live. So that wraps up our week today, where we talked about 6 things that mentally strong people do when you let others define you versus when you let yourself define you, and 7 signs that you're doing better than you think you are. MC Ebone,
Max the Speaker,
and that's Motivation Monday. We're signing out. Peace and love.
Peace. Appreciate it. See you guys next week.